privilege.
I don't know. Like I don't really see
privilege.
I just don't
because he's white.
I don't know. I just
so you say you don't like white rappers?
No, hold on. I'm gonna let Marcus finish. And
I like where you going with this.
I feel like it's that realistically
because he's white.
No, it's not because it's white. Because
that's what he said.
But I'm saying white rappers that have a struggle.
No.
White rappers that have a struggle, fam.
White rappers that have to struggle.
They don't have a struggle.
Have a struggle.
Have a struggle.
Are good or bad?
Are better.
Better.
Yes.
Well, white rappers that don't have a struggle, you're like,
the white rappers that are a little bit more privileged is like,
it's like, why you rap?
But I mean, like, what type of struggle we talking about?
Like, you've been through something like hardship and stuff like that?
Family ship, you're in a fucked up neighborhood, whatever.
Nah, well, okay, I would say white people do go through like hardship with family and stuff like that, but I guess like, because like, I would say for Russ, because I remember I watched the interview with him. It was actually the Roy and Mal podcast. I didn't listen to the whole thing, but I listened to I think 30 minutes of it. And Russ was like breaking it down where he's like how he would tell like other black rappers like, yo, why don't you just like own your shit? Why don't you this? And like, why do you guys even sign to these labels and blah blah? You should just own it, do it yourself, put it out there, and make the fans like get to it. But then like he's like how he forgets sometimes that he'll come off and sound very privileged when he says it, because not the black people that's actually rapping aren't really the same kind of black people in those positions to do that, because a lot of times they have to like depend on these labels to get their stuff out there to people, because they don't know, one, they don't know how to do it, and two, they don't know the right people to put them in it, and the people that they would get to help them would put them in like shitty contracts.
I don't know if that's full on privilege. It's just luck. That's just luck of where you're born.
That's a privilege.
Yeah.
Because like because the thing is that he didn't really come from.
It is privileged, but a lot of people are privileged. Like most Americans are privileged.
Nah, but
most Canadians are privileged because of where we live. Like, but that's privilege.
That's looking at it as like a larger scope scale.
That's what you have to look at.
No,
like, realistically,
in these situations, you have to look at kind of more of like a little bit more magnified, because our struggle is different than what someone across the world's struggle is.
100%.
So that's why it's like you have to look.
Depending on where it is, but 100%.
Yeah, but it's just kind of more of like in that situation when it comes to like, especially like trying to distribute your music, if you don't really understand what you're doing, it's just gonna go nowhere.
Yeah, but the thing is, they all have the option or the ability to learn, because like, internet is free in most places, most cities. You can go to Starbucks.
But also education is also different for where you grow up.
Yeah, but because of the internet, you have the ability to learn most things online.
But it's kind of free. But it's kind of hard to do that if you're not.
It's not hard. It's not hard. It's do you have the discipline to try and do it for yourself?
Nah, it's definitely hard,
man, for sure it is.
It's because if you're in an environment,
you think it's hard, but it's not.
No, if you're in an environment that like people in your family are not doing that, you're only gonna know what the people around you is teaching you. So you can't like, for you can say that because you're put in an environment where it's like, yo, if you want to find information, the internet's there and you can search it up and you can absorb information and try it yourself. But for someone that's out there that their parents didn't teach them how to do that,
that's the issue.
And then because the school system and they're poor, their school system doesn't teach them how to do that. Yeah. So for them, they just know enough information to go out there to be like, okay, let me go on the internet just for like entertainment purposes. So social media, video games, and maybe just like YouTube and stuff like that.
I think if you have access to all what you're saying, entertainment, you can figure out how to put out your own stuff.
Yeah, but
because all this stuff is put on. You'll come across a video on Instagram or TikTok saying, yo, if you want to do this is how you do it.
But how would you know that you want to do that?
What do you mean, how would you know? You see it and you say, oh, maybe I'd want to try and do it.
You see it, you like it, but then from there, because you're not fully educated enough to do that.
What do you mean fully educated? What do you mean?
Fully educated, like
they don't understand what's going on in the video?
They have no way of understanding it.
Google it.
Well, that's where
you Google. How do you do this?
You're speaking from someone, as I said, in a situation that knows that they should do that kind of stuff. There's a lot of people out there that'll see it and be like, I don't know where to go from here.
My bad.
Like they'll be like, I don't know where to go from here, and let me just like I'm just gonna give up. because that's just how some people are. That's just how they were raised. That's how their environment is, and that's what they go based off of what's around them.
As I said, if that's the case, you can't say use privilege as an excuse, because then that's you have all the tools in front of you. You're privileged as well. You're just not using them.
But it's also a privilege to be raised a certain way, to understand what's around you. Because remember, they say too much information makes idiots of us all.
Okay. Right? I get it. Yeah.
Because it's even like when you look at like math, the deeper you go into math, you start to realize that when you start looking at other questions, like easy questions, you start to overthink it, because you know that you're so used to seeing like 3x this and plus 2, you're looking at more as like a deeper level than just 3x plus 2, because of like how deep you are, because you know so much information of math.
I don't see it.
You see where I'm going, right?
I don't see it, because like you could look at it as like, oh, I know how to do this, so you would also know how to simplify it. How I think of it, but I don't know. It's just like, do you have the determination and the drive to get what you want? If that's something that you want to do, it's like, yeah, you can go the route of, the thing is, like, this is why history is so important. You've seen what artists have gone through. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows if you're coming up in the game, you have a good idea of what the fucking labels are and what independent is. Mm-hmm. So like, if you're trying to do it, it's like, you say, man, I want to go independent, I don't want to go label route. You could do that shit. It's just about, taking the time to learn and do that.